There we go. Hello and welcome to CS 111. Getting back, we all had a choice. And the number one reason that I chose to be in person is because I really, truly, genuinely, actually think that the human connections you guys make in your education is the most important part of your education. It's not just a list of facts and skills. You guys are going to grow as human beings by interacting with each other. I'm sorry, it sounds cheesy, but it's true. You'll understand when you're old and nostalgic. So I really want to create opportunities for you guys to talk to each other, to work together, to get to know each other. For our friends who are remote, don't worry, you're still a part of this. I know it's going to be harder, but I think we can still do this thing together. Remote students, don't sweat. I've got you too. I'll have virtual office hours, which are open for everybody. So hopefully we can make sure that everybody gets together at least at some point as a class. But since we are here together, let's take a moment to be human beings together. This is my traditional first day activity. Unfortunately, we gotta do the social distance thing. So you guys are all doing great. Maybe you can just kind of chill where you are right now. I think you're in a good situation. Looks like you all have a person that you could talk to. Before we get going, let's practice long distance fist bump. Ready? Boom. Okay, some of you guys need to work on that, but okay, one more time. 3, 2, 1. Fist bump. Okay, cool. We can't shake hands. We can fist bump each other, right? So let's try this. Let's try being human beings together. Let's get a little bit of information about you and your neighbors. Here's how it's going to work. First, turn to your neighbor. Make eye contact. Smile. We got to work that smize right now. You can't see each other's mouths, so we're going to have to I can't do it on command, but we'll figure it out. We got to smize. Hi, my name is, and then you say your name, and then long distance fist bump, solidarity. Discuss some basic young human stuff like, what's your major? What brings you to CS 111? How's this whole pandemic thing going for you? And most importantly, that's why it's in bold, what's your email or cell or Instagram or Snapchat or whatever you Generation Z kids use to stay in touch with each other nowadays. Smiling and laughing are optional, but recommended. Okay, let's try this thing out. Go for it. Unpausing. Sorry, I gotta get used to this. There we go. Hello. So I guess it's only fair. My turn. Hello, I am Professor Miller. Let's see. What about me? I've been a Denisonian since 2014. So this is my 7th year here, I think. Yeah, it's weird. I still feel new, but then I realize I'm not new. I'm in fact old. I've been here for a long time. I've taught. I'm from California. I went to grad school at UC Irvine. I've lived in a lot of places, but I kind of think of Los Angeles as being home for me, even though I've been to a lot of different places. Been a math and CS geek since I was little. I was totally one of those kids who taught myself to program using my graphing calculator when I was spacing off in class. Not that you want to do that, though. I like to play video games. In 1988, when I was 5 years old, you can do some quick math, by the way, to find out how old I am, I got the original 8-bit Nintendo for Christmas, and it changed my life. I've been an avid video game player ever since. My PlayStation 4 got lots of use this summer. I mean, it's COVID. We're all quarantined. What are we going to do? So if you want to, you can talk to me about video games. I love listening. If you see me around the village or on campus walking around, there is a very, very good chance you will see me with my giant cup headphones on. I love listening to music all the time. I'm an omnivore. I love hearing what you guys are listening to. So, if you ever want to drop me a line, be like, oh my God, Professor Miller, I just listened to this awesome thing. I'd love to hear from you guys. I love sharing that stuff. I'm 20 years older than you, but we can still listen to cool music together, right? Oh yeah, I also do this weird canyoneering thing. It's pretty weird. It's super dangerous. Don't ever do it. Do you know that one movie, 127 Hours? Guy had to cut his arm off and drink his own pee. That's canyoneering. I have not had to cut my arm off or drink my own pee yet, but this is what I spend my summers doing, using climbing gear and rappelling gear and hardware and stuff like that to explore some really awesome scenic slot canyons in the Southwest. Um, I've got a slideshow, so I get to show you photos. Here's one. I just think this is a really striking example. That's me, by the way, from up above. This is a beautiful canyon. I think this one is particularly narrow. These colors are super vibrant. I didn't like touch up the colors. That's what it actually looks like. In places, this particular canyon was narrow enough that I wasn't able to turn my head back to look behind me. I had to face that direction like the entire time for up to like half an hour at a time, which is kind of stressful. Not great for claustrophobia, but still super pretty, I think. Here's me doing kind of this is my profile picture. If you ever see on my email or something like that, if you ever wondered what that little thing was, here it is. If I do say so myself, this is some really good form on this down climb. Just throwing it out there, guys. Really beautiful stone. It's not as dangerous as it looks. The technique here that it's all about managing friction. The stone is really grippy and sandpapery, and so I'm trying to drape my body over it as much as I can and just slowly make my way down to avoid getting hurt. I think it's the funnest thing ever. We also do a lot of high stemming. I like including this photo. That's me in the front. I wear a mask in the desert because it's really sunny and I sunburn really easily. You can see all my clothes are all torn up. That's actually my butt right there. What I like about this photo is that we all, you can see my teammates in the background, all of us have to pick a different spot in the canyon to traverse because our bodies are different sizes and different shapes. So depending on how big you are, you might fit differently in a different spot. And that kind of reminds me a lot of the problem-solving process that we do in math and computer science. It kind of feels different for everybody from time to time, but that's okay. There's lots of different ways to solve a problem. Oh yeah, ropes, rappelling, whee. And I like this photo too because this photo is all about teamwork, which is another thing that you guys are going to do as young computer scientists. Teamwork is super important here in computer science, and maybe that's one of my favorite things about canyoneering. We have to use teamwork to safely get through these spaces. I'm the one in the middle, so I'm doing this. The idea is we're forming a partner stack to safely scooch everybody down. Amazingly enough, that's actually a safe way to do it if you know what you're doing. I also just think it's really fun. Okay. So if you want to talk to me about climbing or ropes or outdoor stuff, you can talk to me about that too. All right, so let's talk about class a little bit. CS111, the big picture. By the way, I think this is an awesome class. I love this material. I think the stuff that we're about to do is super, super, super fun. I love Intro CS. You know, the tools and techniques of computation are really, in an important sense, what makes our modern world modern. And they're really revolutionary, and I think in a way that before you really get into computer programming, you might not necessarily appreciate from a distance when computers just kind of magically take care of things for you. So I think getting into the nitty-gritty of that and understanding it from the bottom is an exciting process. It's just a really cool thing that for the first time in human history, we humans can think about things even when it's not inside of our brains. That's kind of weird, right? Computers let us solve problems even when that information is not inside of any human being's brain. That's crazy, I think, if you think about it. I think it's really profound. It's definitely my whoa moment. So I think what we're doing is really neat. Just the core concept of it is super fun. And I hope that you guys can feel excited with me too as we get into some of the basics. On the other hand, unfortunately, computers are very stupid. I mean it. The more you get to work with computers and the more you really understand the limitations that of computation, the more you'll realize that computers are really only capable of thinking about a small class of problems. And it's up to us as humans to be ingenious and think of ways that we can explain the problem-solving process to these very stupid machines. It really, that's the title of section 1.4 in your textbook. It actually is. Here it is. Computers are dumb. But it's kind of an interesting way of realizing. I feel like a lot of times, especially with how powerful laptops and cell phones have become, people think of computers as being like all powerful or maybe they're super smart or something like that. Actually really limited. And understanding that is an important part of this class, one that I think is really fun. And one thing I really like about it in particular is that in order to cross that bridge, you'll really have to learn to think in a new way for this class that if you've never done any computer programming before, you might not have thought of before. It can be kind of weird and kind of hard, and definitely takes practice. There's certainly lots of frustration involved when you're first learning a computer programming language. I also think it's a lot of fun. So I look forward to going on that journey with you guys together. By the way, it is totally okay if you've never used a programming language before. This class is for you. We assume 0. You guys were admitted to Denison. You're all good students. You've got all the tools you need to succeed in this class. Also, if you do have programming experience, that's cool too. I guarantee you'll still learn some cool new stuff. And if you do have experience, let me know. I hope you can be a good resource for your classmates. Okay, a little bit of business about the actual mechanics of the class and how your grade works here, because the grade, that's ultimately the thing everybody cares about, right? So Monday and Fridays are going to be our main lecture days. Monday and Friday are going to be our main lecture days. Of course, our lectures are still going to be interactive. You'll need your laptops. We'll be using software all the time in this class. Generally speaking, bring your laptops every day. If you don't have access to a laptop, please just let me know. We have laptops that you can use during class time. Actually, the little closet room right next to me is it's the laptop room. It's literally just full of laptops that I can wheel on in here. Just let me know, and I can do that for you guys. Monday and Fridays, I think, are going to be the meat and potato days of the class, where we really cover new material. All of these lectures, including this one right now, are being recorded. I'm doing a screen capture. So there'll be a YouTube video that shows you this. There's also a camera pointing at me right now, and I'll be like a little talking head up in the top corner of the video. That's, of course, intended for our remote students. You guys can check those videos out too. I'm going to post this video online like right after class. It takes the upload takes a minute. It takes like an hour or so to get it online. But you can check out anything we did in class. You'll have a full record of everything that we did in class. We're not going to meet in person on Tuesdays. I really want to hold that time specifically for our remote students. I'm going to have virtual office hours on Google Meet. And you guys are still welcome to come to those Tuesday office hours, of course. I'm not going to do any new material that you'll miss, but you're welcome to come talk to me then. I just want to make sure, especially with this whole weird in-person/remote thing that we've got going on, Tuesdays will be a day where the remote students can get in touch with me for sure. You guys are welcome too. I haven't sent any links for Google Meet yet. Keep an eye out in your email for links to our Google Meet rooms. I'll keep you posted. Wednesday's going to be quiz day. We're going to do a quiz every Wednesday. We're going to do a quiz every Wednesday. Wednesdays are quiz day, so we'll spend about the first half of class, starting not literally 2 days from now, but next Wednesday is going to be our first quiz. We'll spend the first half of class taking the quiz. The way this is going to work will be the same for all students, whether you're in person or remote. You're going to do the quiz on your laptops, on Notebowl. All of the quizzes will be submitted on Notebowl, and they'll be timed. They'll start at the beginning of this class period, so like at 11:30, and then we'll time it out for the timer will give you like 20, 25 minutes to finish the quiz. The remote students will all be doing exactly the same thing at exactly the same time, so ideally having exactly the same experience. I'm really trying to make it egalitarian and make the experience the same for all of you, at least to the extent that I'm able to. So especially be sure to bring your laptops on Wednesday. I've got extras if you don't, but you'll want your own. And to be fair to all the students, all of our quizzes are going to be open note. I can't police our remote students whether or not they're using notes. So I'm not going to try to do that to you either. You can use your notes on the quizzes. They are absolutely open note. They will be timed though, so you'll want to know what's going on before you walk into the quiz. And after that, we'll probably do some guided exercises together that veer away from straight up lecture and get more into practice and application for the work that we're doing in class, hopefully to prepare you guys for the work that you'll be doing in your homeworks.
We don't get a lab credit for this class, do we?
I'm not going to specifically assign lab partners. No. It's kind of, especially with the whole COVID thing, it's just kind of weird, and I wouldn't know how that works. I do definitely encourage you guys to work together, though, for sure.
Okay.
Catherine?
Are we gonna, do you want us to, buy the textbook? I know last year it was,
I am going to assign reading out of the textbook. Yeah, so definitely get a copy of the textbook. You don't have to bring it to class, but you will need the textbook for sure. It doesn't matter if you get the physical version or the electronic version. Is there an electronic version? I think there is, right? Yeah, okay, there is, okay. So either way, it's totally up to you guys. If you want the dead tree version, go ahead. I use the electronic version, so that's fine for you guys too. You don't have to physically bring it to class.
And then is it in, the exact, the name, is that on the syllabus?
Yeah, you know what? I was going to talk about that in a second, but since you're asking about it, what the heck? Let me just go over right now. Catherine knows, because she's had my classes before. I like to use a website. I have a personal website for all my school stuff. It's that thing. You guys are going to want to get to know this website. So I just went there. If you go to my website, Professor Miller's homepage, here are the courses that I'm teaching. You guys are CS 111. I try to use this as a really easy, convenient, one-stop spot for you guys to get all of your materials together. So if you go here, you'll see I've got links to my YouTube channel for all the video lectures if you want to check those out. Also, the actual notes that I type out, I'm gonna do all of my notes on the laptop. Those things, everything that I type is gonna be up here also. So you guys will have full access to literally every single word I say and thing I type, which I hope is super cool for you, by the way. Information about the quiz, there's nothing there yet. Homework assignments, et cetera, et cetera. Our first reading assignment is there. And Catherine, the reason I thought about this is because I've also got the syllabus linked right here. I decided not to hand out physical copies of the syllabus this time around just for sanitary reasons, so we're not all touching the same piece of paper. But it's up right now for you guys. And I just want to show you real quick. If you go there, it's a syllabus. I try to keep it short and simple. You'll want to take a look, though. In particular, here is our full textbook information. It's got the title, the author, edition, and ISBN, so you can be sure you're getting the right thing. So yeah, take a look at the syllabus online, and you can find the book information. Does that answer your question, Catherine?
Yes.
Cool. Speaking of the syllabus, probably the most important part of that syllabus, let me just go back really quick, the grade breakdown right here. I try to keep it super, super simple for this class, just because I know everything's kind of crazy right now, so let's keep our grade breakdown nice and simple. And let's talk about that now. Wednesday quizzes, those things are 30% of the grade, about a third of the grade. So an important component, but less than half of the grade. You know the drill. We're going to do these every Wednesday. We'll do them on Noble. Same for in-person and remote. Generally speaking, my plan is the quiz is going to be over. So we'll have a quiz on Wednesday. Topic for the quiz will be the stuff we did last week. That's it. That's the plan. Got a quiz on Wednesday. Topics are what we did last week. And hopefully with the way that the lecture notes are all online, I'll make sure to keep track. Like when I post the lecture notes, I'll clearly indicate what week they were from. So that way you'll always know. You're like, oh, it's week 7 now. I better study the week 6 stuff for this quiz. And that's what's up. I dropped 2 low quizzes just to emphasize that again in case anything happens. I don't do makeup quizzes since once the quizzes are out, they're kind of out in the wild. Instead, if for some reason you can't take a quiz, I'll drop a low score. And you can take them remotely. So hopefully that should cut down on worries about, for whatever reason, not being physically here. Okay, homework / lab assignments. This is the meat of the course. It's a CS course, so we got to do a lot of programming. And that's where this stuff comes in. We're going to do them every other week. That's the plan. We'll do homeworks every other week, homework / lab assignments. every other week. We'll have them do it every other Friday. I might mess around with that due date, but that's the general plan. Let's do them every other week. Weekly quizzes, homework every other week. You'll turn these things in on Notable. The assignment will have like a little file submission button. You can click there and upload your file, and that'll be your homework. I think there's a pretty good chance, I haven't designed all the homeworks just yet, but I'd really like some of them to kind of lead in to the next homework assignment and kind of connect together and get a little bit more interesting than just a single isolated assignment. So definitely take each one seriously. You know, I'll drop a low score, so it's not an emergency if you don't do as well as you'd hope to on one, but it might come back in future work. So always know what's going on with these things. And just a note, be careful about the file format that you submit it in. If it's not in the right file format, I might not be able to read it or grade it, or it might be hard. And so let's not do that. For full credit, take a look and make sure you've got it in the right file format. I'll specify what file formats I want. You don't have to guess. And if you're ever not sure, let me know and we can figure it out and make sure you've got the right file formats. Oh, and you know, just one note. I really do hope you guys, I sincerely hope that you guys work together. But when you turn in homework, it should always be your own work. It should always be your own code, your own writing, your own calculations, etc. And I dropped one low homework score. There's also a special final homework, kind of like a final project, maybe not quite as dramatic as a final project, but just a last homework. It's a final mandatory homework assignment. I won't drop the grade for this one. It by itself is going to be worth 10% of the grade. It'll be due on the date of our final exam for this class. I haven't found out what that date is yet, but whenever we would take a final exam, we're not going to have a final exam. We'll have the final homework due then. And I'm just planning for it to maybe be a little bit longer and kind of synthesize topics from across the course to give you guys an opportunity to really flex a little bit and put it all together in a way that feels meaningful. And I'm not going to worry about that too much because it's still so far off. I just want to let you know that it exists. A little bit about our software. So computer science, of course, we're going to be doing a lot of software. I'm really excited for the software we use in this class. I think it's super fun. The language that we're going to be using is called Python. Anybody ever written any Python? Okay, that's okay. I see one hand, but it looks like most of you haven't. That's totally fine. It's a great programming language. It's been, I think it's about, I want to say it's about 25 years old now. I should know that answer better. It's about 20 to 25 years old, which for a programming language is pretty old. But it's become totally an industry standard in lots of different contexts. Academics love Python. Data scientists do lots of Python. It's just used all over the place. It's a huge standard. It's a great thing to be able to put on your CV, by the way. I mean, it totally just makes you a better person if you know Python. So I hope that you get to enjoy it. It's one of the easiest programming languages to pick up for a first-time language, which is why we use it here. But it's also still really powerful and useful. So I hope it's a good starting point for you guys. The environment we're going to be used for using Python, you might be wondering, okay, well, how do I get Python? It's called Anaconda. Get it? Python, Anaconda. There's snakes. Never mind. There's a lot of dorky humor in computer science in general. Anyway, so just to show you really quick, this is free. It's super easy to install. I'm just going to Google install Anaconda. That's all. Install Anaconda. Hey, look at that. It's the first thing. And oh, hey, look at that. There's all the links for Windows, Mac OS, whatever you want to do. So it's super easy to install. You can do it right after class. Get this stuff installed. We're going to make sure everybody's got it installed on Wednesday because we'll be using this pretty frequently. And this gives you, just to kind of show you, when you do get it installed, it'll actually install like a suite. Oh, question? Maybe. Email me. You say you've already got a Python install in there?
Yeah, I've got Python.
So my off the cusp reaction to that is that's fine with me as long as you feel comfortable supporting yourself in that environment. I'm going to be doing everything in Anaconda and in Jupyter. So I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem. But if you're worried about getting support and seeing exactly how I do it, then you want to use Anaconda. You can have both of those environments installed at the same time. So if you want to, you can still install Anaconda and go from there. But send me an email. Let's have a little bit more convo about that. That's a good question.
Python and Anaconda are two different programs.
Yeah, so Anaconda is like a, what's the right word for it? So Python is like the language itself, and Anaconda is going to be like the Microsoft Word for that language. It's a program that lets us actually write it and run the code that we get.
Okay. So we have to download both?
No, just download Anaconda. Anaconda comes with Python. So once you download it, you'll have everything that you need to get going. The thing that will, of all of these things, the one that we'll use by far the most is Jupyter Lab. I'll launch it just so you guys can see it. So it lets us, here's the stuff I was working on the other day. Jupyter Lab, it lets us integrate both like text, so we can write paragraphs and describe what's going on, and also code chunks like this for loop, for example, that I made as an example here. I think it's, once you get used to it, we'll get into the nitty gritty on Wednesday, but I think it's a pretty easy way to do it. Installing Anaconda is super easy, and I think this is a really friendly, nice way to go about it. I know that other faculty members in CS also use this. So I know Catherine's in data analytics. Any other DA people here? So if you guys use RStudio, this is really similar to RStudio. It's very, very similar to RStudio. So I don't think you'll have too much trouble making the leap. Cool. So yeah, again, if you want to get this thing, you can just Google download Anaconda or install Anaconda or whatever, and you'll get those links right away. It's free, and you can get that ready to go. So maybe just to summarize, I think I've talked about all of the, question? Nope. Okay. Let's see. Notebowl, of course we'll be using Notebowl. That's where we're turning in all the homework assignments and where you're taking the quizzes. That's kind of my primary use for Notebowl. My teaching homepage, definitely check that one regularly. That's my personal repository for basically everything I do as a teacher. I'll always have info there about homework assignments, quizzes, everything that's coming up, our schedule. If you want to know what's going on in this class, that's probably the right place to go. YouTube, all of our course videos are going to be on YouTube. So, even though you guys are here in person, that's still a cool resource for you if you want to check out any of the stuff that we did. And please do check your Gmail regularly. I did a bad thing and I accidentally emailed you guys from my personal email account. Please ignore that. Bad, Professor Miller. Let's use our Denison email addresses, mostly just for safety and viruses and professionalism and stuff like that. Let's always use our Denison email addresses. Maybe just a few important notes. Stupid COVID thing. I am really serious about the stupid COVID thing. It's very annoying, and we're all going to get tired of it. But I want to preserve our ability to come here. I like seeing you guys. I like doing this class thing. And mostly I want to protect our opportunity to continue doing this and also to keep folks safe. You guys are all doing great right now. But let's stay serious about the face coverings and social distancing. I appreciate it, guys. Again, just to say this for like the fourth time, literally all of our materials for this class will be online. Every word I say, everything I type, you'll have it there. So take advantage of those resources. I really think that past generations of students would be super jealous of the fact that all of that stuff is there. Also, when you guys are taking notes, remember, you don't have to be stenographers. You don't literally have to write every word I say or type every word I say. Try to make your personal notes as useful for you as possible. You'll have everything I typed. You'll have everything I've said. So when you're taking notes, think about getting down those important connections that you made, or those important realizations that you had, or whatever mattered to you in that class period. I think that'll be more useful for you than just try. And I still see students doing this, even though I give all the notes, they're writing as fast as they can, or typing as fast as they can. Professor Miller, I didn't get that. And of course, we can always go back. We can always talk about something again. But I hope that can help you relax a little bit. You don't have to worry about getting literally everything. One thing, especially with this whole COVID thing, let's all come to class prepared and plan to stay for the full 50 minutes. It's awkward if we're shuffling around each other. It's kind of distracting, and it's kind of dangerous now if you've got nasty little germs coming out of your mouth as you walk by. Let's make sure that we're all here prepared to stay. Whether you need tissues or your water bottle, use the restroom before class. This is our game time. Let's respect each other and be ready to go for the full 50 minutes. Again, not to be a stickler, I just want to really make sure I throw this out there. I'm not going to do makeups for the quizzes if you can't make one for any reason. I dropped 2 low scores. You can take these things remotely. You can take your quizzes remotely. So also, what I am saying to you is, if you have a sniffle, if you have a fever, if you are not feeling well, please, by all means, don't, in the past, I might have told students to tough it out. I'm not going to say that to you guys. Please, let's all protect each other's safety. You can take the quiz from home. Please do so if you're not feeling well. So hopefully that really facilitates everybody's chance to take the quiz, and we won't have to worry about missing quizzes. All my office hours are going to be on Google Meet, but honestly, if you want to Zoom me or whatever, we can work that out too. I don't really care too much. I haven't posted office hours just yet. I think I'm going to send you guys I'm going to send a survey to all my students to see maybe what times would be good for you, and then I can make some time available in addition to Tuesday, some virtual office hours so that you guys can track me down and ask questions. That's a great question. No, we're not having a specific Zoom class. I'm just going to be, I'll have a Zoom, I'll have a Google Meet, a meeting room. And I'll be there for students to come chat with me. I'm guessing tomorrow there's not going to be too much going on, but maybe if you're having trouble installing Anaconda, or in the future if you're having trouble with your lab work or anything like that, I'll be there, and it'll just be regular office hours. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Cool, that's a great question. And beyond just the whole COVID thing, I'm totally serious about everybody feeling safe and welcome here. Sometimes math and CS can seem kind of intimidating, and folks feel like, oh no, I'm not a math person. I'm not, one of the first things I said was, I'm a CS dork, but you don't have to be a CS dork to really enjoy this class. I'm glad you guys are here. I hope that you guys enjoy this stuff. Whether or not you want to make a career out of computer science, there's, I think, a lot of really cool, interesting stuff going on in this class, and I hope we can have fun together thinking about it. Okay, thank you for listening to me talk so much. I try not to do that, but it's the first day. What questions do you have for me? Does this game plan make sense? Feeling it, Catherine? As soon as possible. Mm-hmm. But great question. Other questions about stuff so far? Anything I've said that seemed confusing or? There'll be a combination of probably short answer. I might throw some multiple choice in there too. Can't tell. Sometimes students want multiple choice, but then multiple choice is actually pretty hard because if you get the wrong answer, it's just wrong. And with short answer, I can give you some partial credit. So probably a mix of short answer and multiple choice. I think especially once we get some lecturing done, and once we spend some time actually doing stuff in class, you'll get a feel for my style. I'll give you some example questions throughout class to give you a feel for what sorts of things you might see on there. I'll bake those into our lecture so that it's not a total surprise on the quiz. It's a great question. Any questions about stuff? I'm hoping for this to be pretty straightforward and simple. The basic idea is quiz every week, homework every other week, final homework project. That's the whole grade structure. Does that make sense? This game plan makes sense? I feel like you guys seem like a reasonable thing to you guys? Yeah? See nods? Okay, cool. Oh, it says Math 120. Oops. This is CS 111. I guess you can ask me questions about Math 122, but you should really take the class. It's a good one. Any other questions about stuff at all? So get the text as soon as you can. I do have the first reading assignment up, by the way, on my website. Where is my website? Here's my website. If you go to the websites, there's a little link for reading assignment, poof, section 1.1 and 1.2 in the textbook. Take a look at that for Wednesday. That's where we're going to start. If you can have a chance to look at that before class, I know class is going to be a lot more useful for you. All right, guys. Well, then we'll start. Of course, no quiz literally this Wednesday. It'll be next Wednesday on the 26th is our first quiz. So Wednesday, we're going to have like a normal class. We'll get going. Download Anaconda. If nothing else, that'll get you prepared for Wednesday. Otherwise, we'll make sure that you've got it going for Wednesday. Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Catherine. Thanks, guys. See ya. Good luck with everything.